So you have to be either completely ignorant or just totally disingenuous as to what's going on in this country to have an issue with this. Which brings us to this audio. So here is Joe Scarborough finally getting some passion. You know, these no labels guys who just like call it as they see it. Getting upset about the fact that any football players would show any public figures, I guess, is really the problem, right? Would show any solidarity with the communities from which they come from, or just people who are suffering unnecessary violence. Here's Joe Scarborough getting really worked up about it. And I should also say, either really putting his incredible ignorance on display or just being disingenuous. I'm not going to judge.
Well,
other people holding their hands up.
That in just a second. Yeah.
I want to talk about the Rams first. So the NFL, don't they have the right to tell players not to wear socks and are a certain way and what? I mean, they control everything about them.
Whether or not you think the Rams players should be punished, within the NFL, if your socks are down, they're not the right height, you get fined for it. If you dance a little too long in the end zone, you get fined for it. They have all these crazy rules to keep the brand uniform, to keep everybody on message.
So, but these players can suggest that the St. Louis cops shoot black youth with their hands up in the air. That's cool with the NFL. That's cool with the St. Louis Rams. That's cool to suggest that St. Louis police officers in the town, probably a lot who go to the games and watch the games and are fans, the St. Louis Rams think it's cool for them to suggest that St. Louis cops shoot young black men who have hands up in the air when we know that that was a lie. It's a lie. And what was that gesture on Capitol Hill? Are more people like going, oh, it doesn't matter whether it's the truth or not? I'm going to suggest that cops shoot people with their hands up in the air? What is wrong with this country?
These are elected officials.
What is wrong with these people? What's wrong with these elected officials? They know it's a lie. They know the cops didn't shoot him with his hands in the air. They know it's a lie. And they're doing this on that Capitol floor?
Well, hold on a second.
Congressman Jeffries, you saw there of New York, and two others as well. Yeah, did that on the floor.
Unbelievable.
Congressman Green of Texas and Congresswoman Clark, also of New York, making the hands up, don't shoot gesture on the floor of the House yesterday.
Well, boy, that would really be moving if it were the truth. Like I said yesterday, why don't they put flying saucers on top of their heads and say, if only Michael Brown had not been transported up to Venus. It's just horrible. When will aliens stop coming down here and transporting people to Venus? This flying saucer on my head is an indication that we can no longer stand for aliens coming. Come on! It's not the truth, and you know it's not the truth, and you're going on the House floor suggesting that police officers who put their lives on the line are shooting people with their hands in the air when you know it's a lie. What's wrong with you? Let's move on.
Okay. Bill Cosby.
It's unbelievable. And it's unbelievable the NFL won't do anything about this. Yeah, good luck. Good luck having cops. Whatever.
That's definitely the other side of the story. Bill Cosby is no longer...
Okay, so I want to get to Joe Scarborough's question as to what's wrong with the country in a moment. But I love this thing at the end that Joe is like, good luck having cops. What, good luck having cops? What, give you protection for your football games? So these cops, they would never shoot. No cops would ever shoot someone with their hands up in the air. But they would. They would maybe just not provide protection to people going to a football game if 4 or 5 football players raised their hands like this and expressed an opinion. Now, here's the question that Joe Scarborough posed. What's wrong with this country? Well, I would submit that part of it, a tiny, tiny part of it, is illustrated just by Joe Scarborough and what he does on television. Now, somehow, Joe Scarborough knows it's a lie that Michael Brown had his hands up when he was shot. He knows it's a lie. Right? So, despite the fact that we know by all testimony that Michael Brown had run away, that he had stopped and turned, and according to Darren Wilson, then charged like a maniac as if he was on PCP, going through a hailstorm of bullets. We know he turned, at least, to face the cop, which was either to give up or to charge like a maniac in a hail of bullets, because, you know, Michael Brown thought, because he had taken some cigarellos from a convenience store, that he was completely impervious to bullets. But somehow Joe Scarborough knows this was a lie, even though, according to that PBS NewsHour breakdown of witness statements, that 16 out of 29 statements that dealt with witnesses saying they saw that moment in the exchange, 16 out of 29 said that Michael Brown had his hands up when Darren Wilson shot him. But he knows those 16 out of 29 statements are false. Because why? He knows that witness 14 in their first and second statements was not telling the truth. He knows that witness 16 was not telling the truth. Witness 16 told a lie twice in both statements. Witness 22 not telling the truth. Witness 35, witness 37, witness 41, witness 42, witness 44, in both statements not telling the truth. Witness 45, witness 46, witness 48, and witness 64 were all lying according to Joe Scarborough, and he knows this because when he was sitting in his studio at 30 Brock, he knew it was impossible. He just knew. So he's disgusted by these football players. Give me a break. Give me a break. That's what's wrong with this country. Not all of it. That is a small but significant part of what's wrong with this country. Is that people are talking out of their ass. And they get paid a lot of money to do it, so they're encouraged to do it. But he knows it's a lie. I can feel it in my bones. A finely huge sense of what's going on the street.
He's sort of like Miss Cleo almost, except more pompous.
Who's Miss Cleo?
She was a psychic. I like one of those old, they were great psychic commercials. She had like the most fraudulent Caribbean accent
What is this,
you've
like a
ever.
late night thing?
It was like a late night thing years ago. And she'd be like, "The cards don't lie." And I think, was she like arrested or something? I remember Dave Chappelle. I think Dave Chappelle did a funny bit about her, and it was like his version of a yeah. But that they were on TV all the time, probably like, I don't know, whenever we were like.
I wish he had said that. I wish he had just said, "The cards don't lie. I went."
He just says it. He's just like, "Look, Mika, as you know, I can see the constellations, and I can read spirits, and I can read energy. And I'm telling you, Mika,
it's a lie.
It's a lie.
It's a total lie."
There's other times where black people aren't lying, and the cards tell me that too. So you can't say I'm racist.
Unbelievable.
You can't say I'm biased.
I mean, the fact is
Mercury's in retrograde. The Rams should not have done that.
We don't know what happened. We don't know what happened, despite the fact that a grand jury, when not pushed by a prosecutor, didn't choose to indict. We don't know what happened. We don't know what happened even when a grand jury does choose to indict. But in this case, there seems to be certainly a lot of evidence on either side.
But it's also just I guess I've actually saw him when he talked about Trayvon Martin. He was on the side of George Zimmerman being prosecuted in that case. And he did even acknowledge one time I saw him that there were massive disparities in the criminal justice system. But how you could even, because I think that's a whole other big problem about this whole conversation. I agree it's ludicrous that they didn't press charges against him. That's certainly my opinion. But the notion that this all just boils down to this one case and it isn't representative of this crisis that's going,
right.
That in and of itself is offensive and disingenuous and absolutely the wrong way to cover it.
Right.
It's not a debate about, Mike Brown, da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
This is one on a friggin' daily basis.
Right. Right. Exactly. But the outrage. The outrage of black men being shot, that is just inexcusable. However, I want to side in with the outrage of these 5 football players raising their hand. What's next? What are they going to say? Hello, Ma, to the television camera? It's cats and dogs. That's what's wrong with this country.
How will I explain Campbell Soup commercials to my children starring professional athletes when they do that?
That's what's wrong with this country. Too many people out there agitating for people not to be shot.
And then the other thing, too, everybody always talks about the outrage. And, of course, there's outrage. It's a completely obvious outrage. How about the fear? How about the terror of knowing that? I watched an interview with...
That's outrageous. Are you implying
outrageous
that somehow we're supposed to be thinking about the parents of blackheads? Oh, give me a break.
You know what Wendell Pierce said, the actor on the Wire? I forgot why I saw him interviewed once. I don't even remember where, but he said, when I take a car trip, my wallet is on the dashboard. So if I get pulled over, I don't have to reach for it.
It's outrageous he said that.
Isn't that? It's offensive to police officers.
It's outrageous he said that in an interview.
It really hurt their feelings.
Unbelievable.
It's disgusting.
Oh, good luck to him when next time he has the big premiere. See if the cops want to protect him then. Unbelievable. You know what? I'm outraged that you even repeated that story because there's a chance that there could be police officers listening and they could get upset.